Akadosh, yeah, Erev Tov. We're continuing. We're going to do a very quick Chazarah of Gimel Amud Bet, and we're going to do it inside. Inside, we said a Tana. We learned in a Baraita, Be'avim u'veruchot. Whether we're talking about Avim or Ruchot, yeah, whether we're talking about Avim or Ruchot, which are clouds or winds, Lo chivu chachamim le'askir. The rabbis did not obligate us to mention it. V'im ba le'askir, but if we didn't mention it, maskid, you could mention it, and there's no problem whatsoever. My tama, what's the reasoning? Mishum de lo mi'atzre, because it doesn't stop, which means that since there's always going to be a wind and there's always going to be clouds, there is no problem, right? That means you don't have to mention it. Says the Gemara, velo mi'atzre, are you going to tell me that it doesn't stop? The Tani we learned in a Braita, Rav Yosef, says Rav Yosef, and you're going to stop the heavens, min ha'avim u'min ha'ruchot, from the avim and from the ruchot, from the clouds and from the winds. Ataw min ha'avim ruchot. Are you saying from the clouds or the winds? Are you going to tell me that it's only going to be from the rain? So Keshu Omer. So when it says v'lo yeh matar, hare matar amur, it's already brought down the matar. It's already brought down the rain. So therefore, mani mikayem ve'atzat ha'shamayim. So what does it mean then ve'atzat ha'shamayim? He says min ha'avim u'min ha'ruchot. It means from the clouds and the winds. So kasha ruchot ruchot kasha, right? Avim avim. So therefore, it's going to be a question ruchot on ruchot and avim on avim. So it's going to be a question from winds to winds and clouds to clouds. So answers the Gemara. Avim avim la kashya. Avim to avim is not a question. Why? Ha bechorpe, ha be'afle. Says that which we say that the clouds do not stop, that is going to be the clouds before the rain. Okay, that they always have to be. For the clouds after the rain, he says, habaim after the rain, that's going to be a different halacha. Ruchot ruchot la kashya, and it's also not going to be a question from ruchot ruchot. Ha beruach metzuya, ha beruach she'ena metzuya. One's a wind which is a constant wind, which is a wind which comes all the time. And one is a wind which does not come all the time. It's like a torment. It's like a ruach se'ara. So therefore, that's why. Yeah? Tropical. He says. A typical wind. Okay? Ruach she'ena metzuya chaz lebedare. Ask the Gemara, ruach she'ena metzuya, you could come and you could use it to do the winnowing, right? For the chaff and everything to separate. So answers the Gemara, efshar benafvata. No, you could use it with a nafau kvara. Remember that a nafau kvara is what? Is a sieve. The fact that you could use it with a sieve, so therefore you don't need the winds. And the fact that you don't need a winds, so therefore that's what we're saying over here, right? That it's going to be a completely different halacha. Okay? Okay, so now that was finishing the Chazarah. And now we're going to start the new Gemara. So the new Gemara says as follows. Okay? Tana ha'avim ve'aruchot sheniyot lamatar. Tana, we learned in a Braita, He'avim ve'aruchot sheniyot lamatar, which means avim and ruchot, which is basically clouds and winds, are shniyot lamatar. What does that mean? It helps the karka. It helps we're going to say the karka is the ground. So it helps the ground and to grow forth just like the matar itself. That means just like rain helps, so too the avim and the ruchot helps just like the rain. Okay? Kimat, it's secondary. Meaning it's not exactly, meaning somebody's going to ask you what's better for the ground, rain or the winds and the clouds. So obviously you're going to tell me that the rain is better. But secondary is going to be the winds and the clouds. So says the Gemara, Echidami. Which winds are we talking about? Which clouds are we talking about? Amar Ula ve'itema Rav Yehuda. Says Ula, and some people say it was Rav Yehuda. Debatar mitra. We're talking about the avim and the ruchot, which come after the rain. They help a lot. Meaning the wind and the clouds, which come right after the rain, they help so much. It's secondary to the rain. Okay, so ask the Gemara, lememra, you want to say, you want to tell me that the kavana is that this wind and everything, it's something good. Malyuta is like a ma'ala. You know what a ma'ala is? Something good. Yeah, it's a ma'ala, something good. It says, Lememir de Malyutai, Ba'akativ, it's written in the Klalot. This is in the Parashat Tochacha, Kitavo. So it's written over there in Kitavo. Yiten Hashem metaretzecha avak ve'afak. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu will place metaretzecha. What is metaretzecha? The rain of your land. Avak ve'afar. What is avak? The dust. Afar, the dirt. Yeah. So ve'amar ula, ve'itema Rav Yehuda. Says ula, and some people say it's Rav Yehuda. What are we talking about? Lezika de batar mitra. Zika is ruach. Yeah, it's a ruach. The batar after, right? Like baba batra, the last one, right? Batar is after, apche, mitra. Mitra is rain. Matar. So therefore, we're talking about that the ruach after the rain is actually going to be very bad. Why is it going to be very bad? Zika's ruach, the wind. The wind is going to be bad. Why? Because it's going to be ma'aleh avak ve'afar, which means why? That means basically what happens like this. It just rained. The wheat is moist, correct? The wheat is moist. It just rained. So now what happens is that when all the avak and afar comes because of the wind, it makes it bad. Why? Because imagine right now you have something that's dry. So if it's dry and it's going to come, so maybe it could come off. But if it's moist and now you get all the thing, what happens afterwards? Everything becomes all muddy, all. So therefore, right? How are you going to tell me that something is good? It's the exact opposite. It's something bad. That's part of the klalot. Yeah. So answers the Gemara. La kashya. What's la kashya?
Not a problem.
It's not a question. Why is it not a question? Ha de'ata nicha, ha de'ata razia. He says one of them we're talking about with the ruach which comes softly. And one of them is talking about the ruach which is coming bekoach, with a lot of strength.
Which one is
Meaning it all depends, right? It all depends on the strength of the wind.
So nicha is gently?
Yes. Yeah, benichuta or benachat. Nachat is gently, soft, right? Razia is coming with a lot of koach. Okay, that's what he says over here. That means he's coming benachat or beza'af, with a lot of strength. So that's the first answer. So lakashia, the first answer was ha de'atia nicha, ha de'atia razia. One of them is coming when it's coming benachat, and one of them is coming when it's coming bekoach. Meaning, if it comes bekoach, it's klala. But if it's coming benichuta, so then it's actually going to be a bracha. That's going to be one of the answers. One of the answers. Second answer, right? Ha de ma'ale avak, ha de lo ma'ale avak. It all depends whether it's going to be ma'ale avak or not going to be ma'ale avak. What does that mean? Right, exactly. Meaning, if it's going to be raised the avak, and it's going to get tied on or caught onto the avak, so then what happens? So then it's going to be bad. Avak is the dirt. Yeah? So if it's not the lo ma'ale avak, is that it doesn't bring ha de ma'ale avak. It all depends whether the avak is coming up or it's not coming up. If the avak, which is the dust, comes on everything, so then it's a klala. If there's no dust which is coming up, so it's a bracha, there's no problem. So it doesn't matter how it's going, whether it's going to be even a ruach chazaka or not ruach chazaka. It doesn't matter. It all depends on, yeah. So it's over here. It says medubar beruach haba benachat ve'enu ma'ale avak. So basically, there's a whole question about does it say v'bait ema or not? Because Rashi erases the words v'bait ema because it's not actually another explanation. It's the same explanation, meaning like this. How do you learn up the Gemara? I'm going to go a little bit beyond with you boys. Yeah? Right? How do you learn the Gemara? Do you learn it that it's two separate answers? Meaning, number one is if it's strong or soft. Right? And that's it. So if it's strong, klala. Strong wind, it's klala. If it's a soft wind, it's a bracha. Or do you learn it avak or not avak? Now, how did you learn avak and not avak? Avak and not avak is a continuation of the strong and soft, or is it a new answer? If you say it's a new answer, so I don't care how the wind is. All I care is there dust coming up or not? That's if you would learn it like a new answer. Rashi, and the way that we have it in our Gemara, the iba itema is in brackets. Why is the iba itema in brackets? V'ibaitem, if you want, you could answer another answer. So here, it's not that you could answer another answer. It's the continuation of the first answer. So we already mentioned that if you do it with a strong wind, it's a kalala. If it's a soft wind, it's a bracha. Says the Gemara, there's another condition. Not only does it have to be a soft wind, it has to be a soft wind plus there's no avak. Two things. Yeah, it's not just enough that it's a soft wind. It has to be a soft wind plus there's no avak.
But what about the other way around? There's no
The Amar Rav Yehuda says Rav Yehuda, Zika de Batar Mitra Kemitra. The Ruach, which comes after the Matar, is Shniya le Matar. Eva de Batar Mitra Kemitra. The Avim after the Matar is like the Matar. So basically, Rav Yehuda is coming and saying, to do with the Avim and the Ruchot, which are after the Matar, which is going to be good. So it's also going to be good. Okay? Shimsha de Batar Mitra Kitre Mitre. When you have a sun, right, which is a Shemesh, Shimsha, the sun, the Batar Mitra, which is after the rain, that helps like 2 rains. Meaning until now, we only spoke about the Ruach and the Avim, which are like secondary. What do you mean secondary? The best is the rain. And after the rain, secondary will come the wind or the Avim. Here he says the sun is even double. It's like Pa'amain. Lemiyutemai. Ask the Gemara, what is the view they're coming to exclude? Why? What are we trying to say now, right? That it's not going to help after the rain. So the answer is the Gemara, Lemiyute Gilhe Delelia. This is coming to exclude the barak, which is in, which is the lelia. No, lelia is laila, right? Gilhe de lelia, right? This is coming to exclude the barak, which is in the nighttime, right? Which does not help. The shimshe de bene karche. What does that mean? The zrichat hashemesh in between the avim, which basically it's going to be, sometimes the sun rays are actually covered over. So in such case, it doesn't help whatsoever. So therefore the barak, right, which is basically, that's what it says over here, the noga or the barak, I don't know, you want to translate it in English, right? But if you want to call it, it's like the, right, which is going to come afterwards in the nighttime, it does not help. Or the shimsha de karche, or the sun's rays in between the clouds. Meaning if you have the clouds and then you have the sun, which is shining. So if it's only the sun shining after the rain, so then it's very, very good. But if you have the sun shining in between the clouds, so then it's not good. It doesn't help whatsoever.